All right, let's go. So this is day one. Basically, I want to start another a little project that I've been thinking about. Basically, I've always had this fascination with letters, and I love receiving letters in the mail. I love mailing letters. I got into postcards about 2 years ago, and just how cool it is to buy like $1 postcard add a add a little stamp to it. Let's see if I have any stamps. Yeah, you put a little stamp and you mail it in the mail, and it gets to people, which is crazy. Like the USPS, it's subsidized by your tax paying your tax money, and so it's super cheap. But it's so efficient. Sometimes, yes, the letters do not actually get there, but it's far and few between. But most of the time, I mean, those letters get in there, and you can send it like across the world, which is also crazy. Just add more stamps. So that has been kind of the idea that's always been looming. Recently, I read about this company and they have a business model, which is like they send you a story in the mail, in letters. They mail you 24 letters over the span of a year. So 2 letters per month. And I thought, what a cool business model, something that I've been thinking of doing and I just couldn't figure it out. But I'm not a writer. So I thought, should I write a story? Could I write a story? I'm not, it's not my cup of tea. But what I do love is learning about business, finance, learning about right now AI, and really the biggest life hack has been investing. I am probably making the most money I've ever made in my entire life right now, and it's really been just a culmination of starting when I was 22. So 22, I you know, was going to business school, Cal State Fullerton, and then had the opportunity to start a business. One of my best friends' dad helped invest in me at the time. We started this business. We ended up having a third person come on, and then he really understood the business, had been in the industry for like 10 years. So that's where my unlock happened. For me, he was here day to day. I was just big-eyed, we're making millions. This is gonna be amazing. We have a business. All right, let's entrepreneur. And it was like, what are you talking about? Like you didn't even know the first concepts of running a business. You've never made a dollar, selling something online. So he basically stuck me in the warehouse. My job was just to pick, pack, lowest of the hierarchy. It was just I was at the bottom. I was just doing all the manual labor, and it ended up working out. After 7 years, I learned all the ropes, eventually moved in, eventually transitioned to managing, learning how to manage a team, employees, firing, hiring, dealing with emotions, dealing with my own emotions, how to speak to employees, how to understand that they'll never and should never work as hard as you do. So you should never expect that from them. You should always treat them with respect. You should always, pay it forward. It's what kind of team do you want to build? Do you care about profits? Do you care about churn? Do you want to hire? Or our strategy was always let's find amazing talent, amazing people you want to work with, and pay them above average. Pay them more than you should. Pay them more than they could anywhere else, so that they want to stay here, that they're happy, and ultimately they're helping drive your business. That's a lot of the stuff that I learned, and it's been amazing, and it's been a wild journey. With that, I was able to meet tons of amazing people, and even my best friend's dad, who first showed me a lot of things that I had never been exposed to, which is people that were wealthy and investing and buying stocks and a Roth IRA, and what platforms to use. At the time it was E-Trade. So that's kind of what I want to focus my letters on, which is my concept is letters to my rich self. So it's just basically, the future you speaking to you in the present. I love this concept because I've always had family or friends who, some of my biggest joy is, hey, I just learned this. You should do it. And here's how I could change your life. And most of the time, people don't do it because it's tough, and finance is tough. No one really teaches it. And now, especially, I'm Hispanic. My parents were born in Mexico City, came to the U.S., and so that wasn't a big thing in our culture. We never had a rich uncle. We never had a very wealthy family member that didn't make money passively. Like it was always a I work really hard, and you're gonna have to work really hard, and there jobs that are just very manual, very labor intensive, and nobody understood about the power of compounding, and nobody was ever told what to do with their wealth, what to do with their money. Like my parents or my mom was telling me that when she got here, she worked for a lonchera, which is basically a food truck. And she was telling me it's now, I can't believe we never thought to buy our own. And me and your dad could have done that. And that's the thing. Nobody ever really told them about business. Actually, in our culture, Mexican, Hispanic, Latino culture, it's crass to speak about money. You're not supposed to. You're frowned upon. You're looked down upon. Se cree mucho. Um, you're not incentivized to talk about money because you'll rub people the wrong way. But I was always fascinated by money. I would always want to know, how much money do you make? What is your job paying you? And I got to experience it later in life. Like, a few years ago, I talked to my cousins for the first time. What do you do? And what's your job? And we were talking about how much money we make. And to me, it's just fascinating because it's one of those, it's taboo, but to me, it's more for the impact of understanding what's out there and knowing the possibilities. And for me, even just it sounds crazy, some of these numbers that I want to hit. Like my goal is I want to make $20,000 or $50,000 a month. And then after taxes, that's a lot. But that's life changing for me. And I can hit that. And I've met people that to them is a walk in the park and they're aiming for some crazy exit or some huge number. But to me, that's the power of having an awesome network and have an awesome group of friends and always meeting new people and hearing what other people are doing and learning about anything that's new and any opportunities that you can take advantage of. So that's really the concept is I want to write these monthly letters. It's going to be 2 letters a month and it's going to be written as your future self, which is currently going to be me. I'm your future self. And it's just going to, let's break down finance. Let's make it interesting. Let's make it simple to understand. I also want to I want to meet and talk to someone that's doing something amazing in business. A real business owner. I think we get caught up in this Mark Zuckerberg, Apple, Nvidia right now, these huge AI companies where those are the 1%. That's if you're not them already, let's say to be safe, you're not going to be them. I'm quoting Scott Galloway, but he says, let's just assume you're not Michael Jordan or you're not Kobe, right? And what else can you do? Well, actually, there's a lot of things you can do. And the biggest thing is just starting and getting over this hump of I don't know enough to do it or I'm too late. It's really about even the power of consistency and having a plan and sticking to it. So that's one of the biggest steps it's just like working out. If you've ever worked out, I've done it quite a lot in my life. It's a big part of my life. And ramping back up is always the most difficult part. I don't feel like waking up today. I'm too busy. I have too many things. So I can't even mentally allocate time to go to the gym. Like right now, after this, I'm going to the gym. I'm doing my workout, just like 30, 40 minutes. Then I have to walk for 45 minutes on incline. And do I like it? No. But at this point, I've seen amazing results. I've continuing to get into better shape. I feel great when I do it. So I'm going to do it. But the first 2, 3 months, this was hell. I had to eat super clean. It was really hard. I'm starving. I'm craving things. I'm very rigorous. I'm saying no to a lot of things. I'm just eating at home. I'm eating the same repetitive food, which is like chicken thighs and a potato. I'm fasting. Doing my workouts in the morning faster to even get, more of a workout, burn more calories, be at a deficit. And it's a lot of work, but if you have a plan, it works. That's the beauty of working out and the beauty of investing and learning about a lot of these financial tricks is that it's already been done. And so you just have to do the work. And that will always be the most difficult part. But if you do the work, you'll see the results. Entrepreneurship, and we'll touch on this in the letters as well, because that's what I'm doing, currently running a packaging distribution business. We ship all domestic United States, and entrepreneurship is a bit different in the sense of investing and financial, learning about finance and how to save and how to make your money, make money in that sense, because just like working out, it's been done. If you do it, you'll get X result over X amount of time. So just like say buying stocks and investing or the S&P 500 or option trading, things like that. Like options, again, it's more of you're gambling. It's a little bit more tough to do that until you have experience, but it works. You do the work and you will get the result. Entrepreneurship, you have to be highly creative because a lot of the times it hasn't been done or you've never done it. So you just need to fail quickly, get the idea, launch it, speak to a customer, try to get a customer, try to get a sale before you build out your website, before you build out anything else. So you have to be highly creative. Things change day to day. Like you might have to pivot, you might have to scrap the idea, start again, get something else, but you have to be highly creative and you have to be used to the unknown and living in that, because it's a roller coaster, up, down, up, down, up, and then just down. And it's never anything constant, which with working out and investing, things can be quite constant. It's quite hands off. But it's something that, in a few years you look back and you go, whoa, I have a real amount of money in my bank account. And it's not just from saving a few $100s, $200, or throw what I do, which is like, maybe I don't do it daily or monthly, but when I have like a spare 3, 4,000, boom, put it in there. And I try to always max out my Roth IRA while I still can. And so I say that as like, I'm excited for the day I can. That'd be amazing. But yeah, this is going to be kind of my idea. So Letters to My Rich Self. I also really want to help and focus on the Hispanic community, the Latino community. That's my background. And I think we are of the most who, now I looked at Los Angeles and I think like 70% of the population now is Latino or Hispanic or whatever the political correct term is. But all of us always end up suffering because we didn't learn about this, and that's changing, obviously. Yeah, I want to help do that. I want to help be a what's the word, like a role model. I've always tried for my family and my cousins to just have people look at me and go like, wow, like those crazy things are possible. These like wild ideas or these concepts, like holy crap, he did it. I could do it. So that's always been my goal, my dream. And so, yeah, I'd love to keep doing that. So what I'm going to do is going to start this business, Letters to My Rich Self, and it's going to be $10 a month, a subscription, and I'm going to mail you letters for the whole year, 2 a month, and it's in the mail because there's something magical and something amazing about getting a handwritten, well, it's not going to be handwritten, I need to type it, but a letter in the mail, which you go, you open, you're not on your phone, there's no distractions, and it's easy to digest. It's going to be a letter, a one-pager about maybe a book that really impacted me and is going to help you think about or frame investing in a different way or anything that's business related. And then again, like I want to talk and speak to someone and ask them, hey, you're very wealthy, you're very well off. What's some of the stuff that got you there? What's some of the frameworks that you use, or what's a great investment strategy for someone that's just starting, or what are you telling your kids right now to do? This is all interesting and from people that me and you recognize, hopefully. So again, I'm a big believer in if you see people like you winning, then it's easier to believe that you can do it. When I first got into the world, like everyone has, and I don't really, again, like I say it as a joke, but I don't see in colors, but it's happened to me once in church where I walked in and it was this Christian church it was in Boston. It's primarily white, like 90% white. And it was beautiful to walk in, and I felt this comfort when I saw the main speaker that was going to be reading some of the passages was black. And it just felt so comforting to go like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not alone. Right. And so in the sea of finance, which is primarily white American, it'll be nice to have, like one of us in there and helping us out and talking to some of these amazing, interesting people. And hopefully I can share all of that with you through these amazing letters. So 2 a month, $10 a month. I'm going to build a website. So a lot of it I want to document as I build it. And that'll be fun. So just building the website, writing the copy, starting to do the letters. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be quite a journey. It's going to be really fun. I'm excited. And I think if you ask me what's my favorite thing to do, and anyone that knows me, they know I love business, I love podcasts, and I love meeting new people. And then to tie it all in, why I love all that is I love when I learned about a new business idea that I could maybe do. And I'm fascinated about like, how did you get to where you're at when you didn't have that? Because once you have it, once you have money, things get infinitely easier, but it's how did you just start? And the thing that I've really, really noticed, and here's like a free tidbit, is it's really about just starting. I look back now from where I'm at and I go, if I hadn't started, I would have never been here. Regardless of everything else, I would have got the mentor, would have found the right idea. Like nothing mattered more than in that moment deciding like, okay, I'm going to end up dropping out of school and I'm going to pursue this idea. And that was single-handedly what got me here. Where I can say it's really changed my life. And then again, along the way, things that really help, it's like having my mentor, having a few people that I can ask for advice. My family, my mom and dad, again, always had my back. And because of them, I'm even here, like because of their sacrifice, coming to this country, not speaking the language, having to learn. My dad worked 2, 3 jobs, and everyone gets severely underpaid. Then when he started a business, I helped him to seafood distribution for Japanese restaurants in downtown Los Angeles, and all the way up to like Newport, all the way to Santa Barbara. But I saw it all. I saw how every Hispanic, Mexican, Latino worked the hard paying part of the job, the driver, the sushi guy in the back, the guy cutting the fish, all these jobs that were all just such manual labor, getting underpaid. And yes, some of them try to start their own restaurants or try to do things, but you get 20 partners and that math doesn't add up. And so I saw a lot of things where I went, man, if only we could share this knowledge, but it's really hard to do. And especially, like I said, for a lot of people in our community, you don't talk about money. And so that's kind of a big part of these letters. Is just imagine if you had a awesome rich uncle and he was able to share all this wealth and knowledge and learn about finance and learn about investing and stocks and S&P 500 and simple concepts that if you just start applying them and someone holds you accountable, which is I'm going to write to you as your future self. Hey, next month, checking in on us. You open that Roth IRA, right? Because you care about yourself and you want to win. And so I want to write it in that way because I think it'll be really inspiring and really cool. Then I want to add cool things like, hey, write a letter to yourself in a year in the future, and then I'll mail it to you. And let's see if you hit your goals, right? And we can do that every time you start or sign up. Like I did that for myself personally every year, and it's really cool. Where's my letter? My letter's somewhere in here, but it's really cool to have and to read. If I have it, nope, don't have it. But point is, it's a really cool thing to do and to have, and so I want to do that for everybody that signs up. And yeah, this is going to be a journey. This is a very much a passion project, and I'm very excited. Yeah. And worst case, I just get to meet amazing, interesting people. If you want to sign up, I'm going to buy the domain lettersfrommyrichself.com, and we'll start from there. But yeah, this was, I guess we'll call it day one. Also, my goal is I heard a girl talk about how she heard something like, if I just post a TikTok every day for a year, I'll never have to worry about money again. And then obviously there's a lot in that sentence, but the point was that if you just build a habit, you're online, you'll learn about making money online. Maybe you do become a presence, you get brand ideas, brand sponsorships, but you're gonna figure it out. And my videos are gonna just get better and better. And that's kind of the goal, which is I told myself, hey, let's finally do this. I've always talked about content. I consume it, lots of podcasts. And yeah, I'm running an amazing business. I have amazing people around me. I have been put in an amazing position, and I've finally realized I'm not going to try to make content. I'm just going to document. So that's going to be a big part of this new project. I'm also working on automation and workflows for a lot of my B2B business. So I think that's going to be fascinating, and implementing AI where I can, or slower to adopt because things break, things don't work, companies are going to go out of business in that space. So we luckily aren't a startup anymore. We're pretty established. And so we have the luxury of not needing to adopt technology at this velocity because we need to wait to pick the correct one. And so we can test things, which is what I'm going to be doing. And so I can also share those in some of these letters because AI right now is I believe going to change the world, and it's already changing things drastically and quickly. But I don't see it as fear-based. I see it as, if you can harness these tools and use them to your advantage, you yourself are going to have such a cool advantage in life versus what other people had, because we'll be able to do things we never thought we could, like coding, which I always wish I knew about coding. All right, that was awesome. This was day one. Adios.